Sanwar Abbas from 24 News. Sir, as per discussions between US and Iran, there is a condition that there will be ceasefire on all fronts. That's under discussion, and almost both the parties are agreed upon it. Is Palestine part of those front as mentioned in the condition? Will there be a ceasefire in Palestine as well? uh, Alongside the southern Lebanon and other parts? And secondly, what is overtake on Hormuz? Do we consider it international waters, or as per international laws, as Iran is not signatory of UN clause 1982, and as per international laws, 200 nautical miles plus 16 nautical miles is sea border for every country as per described by international laws. So what is our take on Hormuz? Do we consider it international waters, or do we consider it part of Iranian sea boundaries? Thank you.
Yeah, a follow-up on both the questions what Anwar asked. So, with regards to the Lebanon ceasefire, Marco Rubio yesterday, when upon landing in Abu Dhabi, said that Lebanon ceasefire is separate from the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, and that's an entirely separate matter.
Sorry, say that again.
The ceasefire in Lebanon is an entirely separate matter, and it is not. It is separate from the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding. That's what U.S. Secretary of State said upon landing in Abu Dhabi last night. How does Islamabad view this? Because it's in context of, in addition to that, and he again, U.S. Secretary of State again said that Strait of Hormuz are international waters, reiterating what Anwar's question is: what is Pakistan's position on the Strait of Hormuz? Is it international waters, or is it Iranian territory, or jointly governed territory? Thank you.
First of all, Anwar, your question on a ceasefire in Palestine. Ceasefire in Lebanon has a reference. There is a reference to Lebanon in the joint statement by Pakistan and Qatar. So, as such, Lebanon is there. The situation of Lebanon is there. But I think you must distinguish between the ceasefire in Palestine and ceasefire in Lebanon. In Palestine, there is no state against which the Israeli actions are taking place. So what needs to be stopped in Israel in Palestine is actually the atrocities and the fire which is unilaterally coming from Israel against the innocent Palestinians. So this is a distinction between the two situation. Whereas in the case of Lebanon is a member of the United Nations, an independent sovereign country. So any attack on it is a violation of the sovereignty of the state of Lebanon. So that in that sense, the ceasefire is between the two sides which are members of the United Nations. So there is a certain level of parity here between Israel and Lebanon, which is non-existent in case of Israel and Palestine. So I think this is a very important distinction that should be kept in mind. Hormuz, there is a number of international legal interpretations, also depending on whether a country is a signatory to the UN Convention on the Laws of Seas. So a country's position is determined by its international legal commitments. So if a country is not a signatory to UNCLOS, its position is going to be significantly different from another country which is a member of the UNCLOS. So if you look at the parties to this conflict, including the littoral state of the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, they have different positions in on the Strait of Hormuz. So it is very difficult for Pakistan to characterize what is the legal position, overall legal position of these parties on the Strait of Hormuz, and how do we view it? We view it as an important maritime route which is essential for global economic sustenance, for supply chains, for energy markets. So we wish it to remain free for navigation. Um, and as it has been for years and decades and centuries probably, an important thing is that the parties should uphold this freedom of navigation. And if under international law the littoral states are entitled certain benefits or have certain privileges with respect to the Strait of Hormuz, then let those be exercised. And as regard the ceasefire in Lebanon, I've not seen the statement of the U.S. Vice President, but uh, but 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 certainly if you look at the joint statement between Pakistan and Qatar, which formed the sort of follow-up of the MOU, there was a reference to a creation of a deconfliction cell between the parties and the Lebanese Republic. So I have this document to refer to.